What's up guys, in this video we're going to be showing you how to remove the Outdrive from your boat. The one I am removing here is a Mercruiser Alpha 1. So let's not waste any time and jump straight in to removing it. So the very first thing you want to do is put your throttle into forward gear.
Now you can tell I am in the forward gear because I cannot turn it to the left. It hits right there.
So before I remove my Outdrive, I'm going to go ahead and take my propeller off, and that's so whenever I'm moving the Outdrive around I don't accidentally chip the propeller. And so you guys may also want to do that, but you certainly do not have to. And if you want more details on how do you actually remove the propeller, I'll include a link to a video I made on that as well. There's really not a whole lot to it. You can see me doing it. So back to removing the Outdrive, the first thing you're going to want to do is remove these trim cylinders on the side. And what holds them together is just a long metal rod, if you will, that just goes through the middle there. And so you got to take these caps off the end, and you can just pry them off. They're just held on by friction. They're just plastic. And then once you get those off, there are some C-clips on the ends of that rod that you got to take off as well. Now before we go on to hammering that rod straight through, you're going to want to support your Outdrive with something underneath it. And you can see here I just got basically a mixed pile of crap. You can use whatever you want. And then go ahead and take your hammer and start hammering that bad boy right on through. And don't worry about covering your hammer with a darn rag. It really doesn't matter if you scrape up the end of that rod anyways. It's just going to be covered with that piece of plastic. Now to finish getting that rod through there, you're going to need another rod to get it through. And I'm just going to use a socket wrench extender here. And again, you don't need a darn rag covering the end of it. I end up just hammering a hole straight through that rag here. So you might as well not even bother with it. You can see it coming through right there. Now I do finally wise up and stop using the rag here to get it the rest of the way through. Now, one thing you might notice is that as you're hammering that through, the trim cylinder on the other side will try to start going off to the side with it. So here it looks like I'm hammering myself in an inappropriate way, but the reality is I'm trying to hold my leg up against that trim cylinder on the other side to keep it from moving as I hammer the rod. So y'all might have to work around that. Anyways, I do eventually get it all the way through. And then after that, I go ahead and I lift my Outdrive up so I can move that stuff out from underneath it that I had put earlier. And then at this point is when I realized that my Outdrive was going all the way down, touching the ground. Now, to make removing this thing easier for you, you're going to want to lower the front of your boat so that your Outdrive, when it's all the way down like this, is actually up off of the ground. Now, whenever I say get it low, I don't just mean low. I mean get it really low. Dang near on the ground right here. And if you're lucky, your bottom of your Outdrive might just be a fraction of an inch off the ground like mine is right here. Now from this point, removing the Outdrive is really quite simple. You can see here there's 3 bolts right there we're looking straight at. Or I guess I should say nuts. And you just gotta unscrew those 3, and all it takes is a 5/8 inch socket, and you just unscrew them off, They're really not even, well, they are torqued on kind of tight, but you can just get it off there with your standard ratchet. You don't need a breaker bar or nothing like that. And then once you get those off, it's just the exact same 3 nuts you gotta get off on the other side too. So after you've got all those nuts taken off, then you're just ready to rip that bad boy straight out. Except it's stuck in there pretty good, and you really can't just pull it straight back. What I found the best method to be was lifting it up and then dropping it down. Of course, not dropping it down onto the ground, right? Because you lowered the front of your boat so the outdrive's up off of the ground. But that way, that impact will land on the outdrive's sort of gimbal housing itself to help pry it loose from the top down. And so that's really the best method I found, and you're gonna have to work with it a little bit, wiggle it more. I mean, if you guys are bold, I mean, you can throw that puppy down and I'm sure it'll break loose in 1 or 2 throws, but I was a little timid with it, so it did take me some time to get off. Now once it does start to come out a little bit, you are going to want to make sure you pull it all the way off as fast as you can, because as you can see here, it'll start leaking that gear oil if you just have it barely cracked off a little, because there is a connector on that gear oil hose going into the outdrive that it'll close up once it's off, but if you've got it kind of halfway like I do here, it'll just start leaking that gear oil everywhere. So instead of wasting time trying to clean that up like I am, just go ahead and try to get the darn thing all the way off. Now in my moment of desperation, I did have a surge of the power of Zeus and did manage to pull it out a little bit right there. But I'm telling you guys, the #1 method for getting it loose is going to be picking it up and dropping it down. I think that's what works best from all the research I've done. And there you have it, guys. That is how you get your outdrive removed. Short, simple, sweet, and to the point. And that is how we all like it. So I hope this video was helpful, guys. If it was, please leave a thumbs up down below. Share your thoughts with me in the comments. If you guys want to see more videos about this boat I have here, it's a 1998 Bayliner that I'm doing a full restoration on, go check out my channel. I've got a whole slew of videos about redoing the deck, fixing up the engine, you name it. Basically everything there is to do with this boat. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you later.